I want to tell you about the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. It was one of the darkest and most frightening nights of my life. It was late at night and I was home alone. I was just relaxing in my room listening to some music when I heard a knock on the door. I ignored it because I knew that my friends were out tonight and they were probably just messing around, but then I heard it again. Knock, knock. I decided to go and check it out. When I opened the door, though, there was no one there. So I just shrugged it off and went back to what I was doing. A few minutes later, I heard it again, but this time it sounded more urgent. Knock, knock, knock. I told myself that it must have been the wind because earlier in the day I had left the window open. I didn't think much of it, and after a while the knocking stopped. So I just forgot about it and went to sleep. But then in the middle of the night I woke up to the sound of whispering. At first I couldn't make out what they were saying, but as time went on it became clearer and I started to understand the words. They were saying, "Let her in. She wants to come in. Let her in, let her in, let her in." I was too scared to move or even breathe because I didn't know what was out there. Was it something human or worse? The whispers grew louder and more intense and the whole room began to shake. Then I heard footsteps near my bed. I squeezed my eyes shut and tried to make myself invisible. Whoever or whatever was out there slowly approached my bed, and I could feel its presence looming over me. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. My heart was pounding in my chest, threatening to burst out. My breathing became shallow and my body felt paralyzed with fear. I could feel the darkness closing in around me, suffocating me with its cold embrace. Then suddenly I felt a cold hand grip my shoulder. I screamed at the top of my lungs as I was thrown backwards off the bed. I scrambled back, knocking over a dresser in the process. And in that instant, I saw something that made my blood run cold. Standing in the corner of my room, illuminated by a faint light coming from outside, was a girl. She was tall and thin with long flowing hair that covered most of her face. Her eyes glowed an eerie red in the darkness, and she was staring directly at me. But that wasn't the most terrifying part. Behind her I could see the faint outline of another figure. It was standing right behind her and it seemed to be whispering in her ear. I couldn't make out its features, but I could feel its evil presence seeping into my bones. The girl took a step forward and the figure behind her seemed to lunge for me. She was trying to get closer, but I couldn't let that happen. I had to escape. I turned and ran for the door, my heart pounding in my chest. As I stumbled out of my room and down the hallway, I could hear the girl's footsteps behind me. I could feel her presence getting closer and closer, and I knew that if she caught me, it would be game over. I ran as fast as I could, adrenaline pumping through my veins. Finally, I reached the safety of my friend's house and burst through the door. I'm still not sure what that girl wanted, but I'm just glad that I escaped her grasp. If you ever see a girl in a mirror who seems to beckon you with a finger, don't make the same mistake I did. Don't follow her into the mirror world. You might not come back. She was never alone. She wants you to let her in. Don't look behind you. Let her in.